Bitcoin broke a critical level, but there could still be a short-term bounce, which is in play. We're going to cover the low time frame, the medium time frame, and the high time frame. So a couple of structural changes within the market, and bulls need to act very, very soon if they want to save price. So let's see what happens today. Thursdays are usually quite volatile days where you can expect reversals. So since the trend's mostly been down for this week, maybe today's the day that the bulls will act. I would say today is the day that they have to act if they want to save this. And if you look over here at the Banter Bubbles chart, you can see still on the daily, most of the coins are going to be red. Only a couple of them. You got XDC, which is currently up. I have no clue what that is, but this is how the bubbles work. If you click on it, you can go there and you can find out exactly why. So somebody said, why is XDC up 20%? And we'll have to keep looking through here. What does it say? Any alpha on this? What is this? Juicy trend line. Okay, nobody has given any feedback yet. Let's say, what is it, guys? You sign in using your Twitter on this, and basically the guys will answer you. So go have a look in the Banter Bubbles, play around over there, chat with the groups. And if we look at Bitcoin on the weekly, still within the potential bounce zone target. So as long as price action, remember, holds above the moving average cluster, which we have over here, basically bringing $25,000 in as the ultimate line in the sand. If you start to fall below that, big trouble. We'll tie this in with the low time frames, but ultimately what you should be looking for is still this as potential bullish structure, looking for some sort of high time frame bounce. So even if you look at that as an order block, if price were to come into this level and it purely happened as a wick, it would still technically be bullish. So something like that, hold into that as a wick and then close back above the moving averages. You saw something like that, I would definitely be buying that dip. Obviously, if you go any lower than this wick over here, completely blown out of the water, and you'll be looking for a major bull trap that could lead to much more panic and lower prices over time. So that's the picture on the weekly chart. That's what we're looking at. The DXY continues to push on up. So surprise, coming off of a key liquidity zone at 100.8. Also historical weekly support, which is this entire level here, which is actually years worth of support if you zoom out and you look far to the left. So expected the double bottom formation over here and continuation up, targeting towards T2 still 105.78. Now, where would that put Bitcoin? I guess it depends on multiple factors. There's a lot of moving parts. If the dollar continues to push up towards this 105.8 and the S&P 500 starts to come down, then you could potentially see Bitcoin go as low as that $23,000 target. So that is the liquidity gap on Bitcoin. The S&P 500 futures chart over here is the short position which we took. We are in the money. I always like to do this live. What do you have to do next? Stops to break even. So move that into break even. Why? Because if price does come back up here again, I would expect a major breakout from the stock market. So if you start to see this and you recapture this resistance area, which is the gray box territory, and you start to get above this level, I think it could be a big breakout. It could lead a much higher. So therefore, you want to move those stops to break even if you followed along that trade with me. For those of you who are asking about the Prime XBT 20% promotion, I have sent out, I had 8 codes available. The guys that DM'd me as well as wrote in the comment section, I've sent it to you. Basically, those 8 codes are now finished. I'll have to try and get more from Prime XBT. If you guys are interested in that, we trade Forex, crypto, and commodities all on Prime XBT. There's a sign up link below over here. Basically, click that link, sign up, and then if I get more codes, I'll give them to you, get 20% additional sign up bonuses. Okay, that's that. Now, looking at the overall health of the stock market, although, yes, I am in an S&P 500 short of here, you cannot deny the bullishness within the market, right? Within the stock market, a lot of people are obviously still calling for low prices. And 𝗕𝗆𝗆𝗄𝗆, what a name. The 𝗕𝗆𝗆𝗄𝗆 says it really well over here. Another green month for equities. If you have a look at these equities, Microsoft closed 6% off of their all-time highs with an increase of 10% in May. I'll show you those charts shortly. Apple pushed to within 3% of its all-time high. So that's a bullish thing, right? If you're coming towards your all-time highs, it's usually a strong indication of strength. And a lot of the hedge funds must have got absolutely wrecked. We outlined this all the way in Q1 and Q2 that the majority of the market has been heavily positioned in cash. Tesla has an engulfing candle to end an additional 28% up in May. And then NVIDIA is obviously the star of the show with 38% in May and 13% above, creating new all-time highs. So he says you're missing the bull market, Anon, and there it is. That's your Microsoft. Here's your Apple. Look at that Apple chart over there. That is usually pretty bullish. I mean, you're going to expect that if you start to approach and close any candles above here, it's more than likely going to lead to a bigger breakout. Tesla is not looking too great yet. I mean, it's still got a lot of work to do, but definitely a big month with an engulfing candle. And then, of course, we have NVIDIA. Now, NVIDIA, I don't know if I'd be chasing this one. This is a huge move. You need to see if it's a topping tail candle that forms on the low time frame. That would be one of those reversal candles. Have a look at it on the weekly chart. I think it did print one of those. So be careful with chasing NVIDIA. There's definitely a lot of hype. It's officially hit that mainstream media mania phase, right? You know, same thing with crypto. When it starts to hit mainstream media mania phase, then that's probably where you want to start being really careful on the long side. Okay, let's have a look at the total market cap as well in relation now to the rest of the market and what Bitcoin's doing. I told you before that don't front run this idea that this is necessarily the high low. We are looking at for this to potentially be a high low, but until such time as you see price come up and close a candle around this pink box territory, you don't have a confirmation that it's a high low. And then look at that candle, obviously came straight back down now. So if there's continuation to the downside, what I would recommend is look at this area over here on the trend line. So the trend line retest as a potential next higher low scenario. Line that up. When you look at this chart, line up total with what Bitcoin's doing as well. Then if you are looking to trade particular altcoins, what you want to do is you use these as additional confidence. So let's say you're trading Ethereum. Well, then look at total 2, right? Because total 2 is Ethereum plus the other altcoins. It's minus Bitcoin. If it's coming into a key level, which it is, it definitely is, we don't have confirmation of the high low again until you close in the pink box territory above here, but it is retesting back into the mid-range. So if Ethereum looks good and Ethereum is testing support whilst total 2 is doing the same thing, then you never know. You might have a trade on your hand. You have additional data points which can show you that there's a high probability bounce coming. Total 3. We put a question mark here because total 3 has been very difficult to gauge. It's been in holding multiple different patterns. It's really choppy. It's all over the place. What are the patterns? Well, you have a parallel channel which is holding towards the downside. That would be bearish, right? That would mean that you're looking for these lows over here. So that's a series of lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, and you have lower lows waiting for maybe the next lower low to come into place. So that's what we're looking at over there. But previously it was stuck within a range. So is this a range or parallel channel to the downside? Because I don't know, because it's all choppy, I just put a question mark. Basically, that means that I wouldn't dabble too hard in the altcoins. I'd be very careful with regards to taking trades in altcoins. But speaking of which, let me know in the comments, because in a couple of tabs time, and there's a delay on the comment section over here, let me know in the comments which altcoins you want me to have a look at today. We'll pull up some of those charts, have some fun, and we'll look at the different levels. Tell me the time frame as well. Do you want to see it on the 4-hour or the daily? Let's just focus on those two. What coin do you want to see? 4-hour daily. And then while you're at it, smash the like button. It really helps to get the show content out there. Hit the like button over there. I see we're only on 168 likes, and there's about 1,000 of you live. So I expect 1,000 likes today. Cool. Let's carry on over here. Bitcoin on the 4-day chart definitely still is holding narrowly on for the bull. So you got the lows. Higher low over here, which was the USDC DPEG, which came in at about that $19,300-ish was the wick. And then currently coming in right now back into the purple long-term moving average. So you would be looking for a potential bounce. And as you can see, we have 17 hours to go before the 4-day chart closes, which means you want to see bulls take action, and very soon. It's such a simple and easy invalidation level for the long side, meaning that your risk to reward is pretty decent, right? right? So you're looking to stop out. If price falls below 26,300, pretty much you want to get out of your positions because you're probably going to break this down and go a lot lower. And if this is just a broader relief rally within a longer term bear market, then you would expect that this would come down quite hard, meaning you had a big move up. We've been up only for most of the year. As soon as you lose that level, you would expect that that would lead to continuation down further, right? Breaking back into the overall range. You remember the range? Here's the range. We had that 25 and about the 19K level. That was the range. This was the deviation 1. Could this be deviation 2? Definitely a possibility. And therefore, you want to tighten up your risk, right? You want to be perfected when it comes to your risk management. And I actually wanted to bring something up while we at it. I just wanted to remind you, when it comes to risk, let's put it on slide. Where do you do this? View the slideshow. There we go. Perfect. Now it's nice and full screen. I want to remind you the percentage gain required to recover a loss and why your risk management has to be so on point. So you need to nip it in the bud and stop your losses before they get out of control, because it becomes more and more impossible to recover when your losses get too big. Your sweet spot is really this area. If you lose 5%, you only need 5.3% to recover that loss to break even. You lose 10%, you now need 11.1% to recover and break even. Now, when you start to cross that threshold and you move towards 15% and beyond, you start to dig a very deep, dark hole for yourself that becomes near impossible to get back from. And I don't mean to make some of you guys depressed, because I know some of you are sitting in this region over here around 70 to 80%, but this is really the recovery rate. Once you hit 80%, you now need a 4x, basically 400% gain before you can even look to break even, before you're at the same level that you entered. And at 90%, you're looking at a 900% gain. This is why it's so important that you don't buy coins that basically don't have enough price history, things that can easily go down 95%, because to get a 1900% or 1900% return is very unlikely. Here is another perspective to give to you. So if you have a look at this over here, again, this is the ideal range for your stop losses. And this is the point where things get really difficult. Exactly what I showed you. So this is the visual using a histogram. So here's your losses. You need to keep them small. As soon as they start to get to this level, look at how the right-hand side goes exponential for your gains. It becomes incredibly difficult for you to win after that. So be careful with your losses, cut your losses. If price comes below this level, yes, it sucks. You have to take a loss. And then as a trader or investor, you know, the human psyche struggles with taking that loss, because you have to admit you were wrong. People don't like to admit that they were wrong. And there's nothing wrong with it in trading. It's okay to be wrong. There's a phenomenal book called Be a Good Loser. And that's exactly what it is in trading. You need to learn how to be a good loser. If you want to succeed in this game, be good at losing, have a positive attitude, and take the losses quick. So let's move on. Next. I mean, I'm sounding like I'm giving a motivational speech because I took a big loss. I didn't take a big loss, guys. I'm just trying to share my prior experiences with you and why it's so important. Okay, let's have a look over here at the Ichimoku cloud. Same level of confluence coming in to stop out, right? 2-day chart, pretty much, again, you break below that, $26,300. It means that you're breaking back into the cloud, and very quickly things can turn bearish and you can go a lot lower. So as long as the cloud holds though, and as long as you don't break below that zone, then you're looking good. Here come the hijackers. The hijack clan has arrived.
Move over.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. You take it. I'm tired today. Go ahead.
I don't know how to use a Mac though.
Don't worry about using the Mac. I'll drive.
Okay, but Carl, let's be honest here though. We do need a bounce, bro.
No, we want to
Like this, we need to hold this level now. And this Hong Kong thing, I thought it was gonna come bring. I thought we were gonna go to the moon.
That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, you're seeing there.
I'm giving you guys a sneak peek here because we shouldn't be that far in the show. We're at the Ichimoku cloud at the moment.
I do agree with you though.
Okay, so
I do agree with
let's do
you. Okay,
this.
you show me the
I'll
trade.
tell you what we need to do. Okay.
Go tell us.
Okay, Carl, you tell me, and I'll teach the guys.
Okay, left. You have to go. I work from right to left.
You work from right
You see
to
the
left.
China pump. You left tab there. Bitcoin dominance. Left. Left.
There we go. Okay. So if we're looking at the Bitcoin dominance now, it has broken down below the trend line.
Oh, it has actually.
It has.
It's
Yeah.
breaking
But it's,
back
I mean,
into
it's
the
not a real breakdown. It's just a little breakdown. It's just the tip. Just the tip, by the way.
That's like a good actually.
Yeah.
That's great.
For those of you who don't know, just the tip doesn't actually count unless it does. Okay, and so we can expect Bitcoin to go all the way down to potentially this trend line over here, which would bring it to about 45-46%.
A little bit left.
A little bit, yeah. So I mean, it's around there. Cool. Then next up, we have Bitcoin USD chart. You can see that we just smashed the pivot level.
That is the pivot level. We didn't smash it, but we put the tip below the pivot level as well.
Oh, love it, bro.
Okay, cool. I mean, Rand did a great job on the Bitcoin dominance. You can't deny that. That was spot on. So that is what we're looking at on the Bitcoin dominance. On the pivot levels, though, exactly like he just said, we did break below the pivot level. But the good thing is that we haven't closed below that pivot level yet. Yesterday came very, very close. You can see the bounce that Bitcoin dominance took over here. Price cap below the 12 and 24 EMA, which means that you are looking for potential continuation down. Now, if that continuation happens, that's fine, right? Just look to your next support zone, 25,000. That's a big, big level. It keeps coming up. Also, it's on the... Obviously, we showed it to you on the weekly chart over here, looking at these cluster of different EMAs. This one would be the 200 exponential moving average. And I will personally be bidding at that level, bidding with my spot position, by the way. So if it comes down to that level, I'm going to be bidding using my spot bags, leverage trades. I gave you a sneak peek into the trade that we have taken. So that is a short-term trade. I'll cover that in more detail on the low time frames when we get there. What about Ethereum? Here is Ethereum. Also currently similar to Bitcoin, losing the pivot level. But remember, it had a cross between the 12 and the 24 towards the upside. So acting as a bit of support and could be a potential retest. You can see the way that the confluence comes into play, right? When you looked at Total 2 is coming perfectly into support. Bitcoin dominance is showing signs of potentially breaking down. Ethereum has had a little bit of additional strength over the last couple of days, which means, yes, you could potentially have a bounce off of this zone and reclaim that level. It's looking a bit healthier than what Bitcoin is. Again, if you lose it though, 200 EMA coming down perfectly into the middle of that in spirit of bear flag, so the parallel channel to the downside, the middle band matches up perfectly at $1,715, so $1,715. Next, Bitcoin dominance over here on the, Bitcoin on the daily chart using the key monthly levels, similar to that pivot level that I just showed you. We didn't close under it yet, but we're currently trading below that level, which just reiterates why it's so important that bulls take back control. If bulls don't take back control today and you start to close candles below the key monthly, you can expect it's going to lead to expansion down. A little bit of support over here around that 24-25 level. Big bounce area, lose that level though, and you're coming to your main trend line, which is also the 200 EMA. So let's zoom out, just showing you the main trend line, level to level to level, right? That would be lows, high, low, potential next high low. I think that would be a big area to bid. I think there's a lot of orders. I know there's a lot of orders that have been stacked within this region. So the question is, which liquidity do we tag first? The lower side around here, or do we move back towards that 30K level and take that liquidity first? Because liquidity is stacked now on both sides. Okay, Super Guppy indicator. Let's just have a look at this for a couple of your altcoins. Did you get any of those altcoins by any chance, Josh?
Which ones?
Did they drop their requests in there?
Oh, yeah.
We can let's have a quick look just from a trend analysis perspective. I'm just going to keep it quick on the Super Guppy. I don't want to go into too much detail if that's okay with you guys today. Maybe I'll take the requests. I'll write them down tonight and I'll do a more detailed analysis for you on those altcoins for tomorrow, if that sounds good. Right. Make sure that when the show is finished, because I know a lot of you are live now, about 1,300 of you are live. When the show is complete, write in the YouTube comment section which chart you want, which coin. So give me the pairing, right? Like let's say it's ETH USD, and then give me the time frame, so 4 hour or daily, and I will make sure to chart that for tomorrow's show. We'll go into more detail. So Bitcoin obviously looking like a trap over there. It's still in a no trade zone because it's gray. Gray equals no trade zone. Same thing for Ethereum coming back down into that level. Let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin slowly started to flip green. What's interesting about this is if you do look at the other Litecoin charts that I've shown you yesterday and the day before, it was coming into a potential buy zone. And why it's interesting is because Litecoin's halving cycle obviously is coming up a lot sooner. Solana, let's see Solana, still bearish red. Cardano is still no trade zone at the moment, so printed gray. BNB, gray as well. Filecoin. And remember, guys, how I use this. Filecoin's also red. I like to use this just as a quick overview to scan when a potential trade is coming into play. So one example would be there, Litecoin, right? So if you see it's gone from pairs of gray and the bands are slowly starting to expand, turning green, then it's showing you that there could potentially be a trend shift. So it's a nice, easy way. I see you guys writing a whole lot of coins in there. We got AKT, we got Trias. Somebody's asking for natural gas. We got Render, CFX. Please make sure, guys, after the stream, when the live stream finishes, because I won't see the live comments. I can only see the comments after the stream. Put those in there and I'll make sure to go and chart them. Okay, Bitcoin on a low time frame. Yes, we're looking for a bounce from this level, a potential swing failure pattern, but it does have to come soon. If that area doesn't, if there isn't a swing failure pattern soon, and price doesn't bounce soon, then you would expect the swing failure pattern. I've changed up this range ever so slightly based off the recent move and tightened things up a bit. So range highs in the same place. If you look on the right hand side, the blue highlighted area shows the price points, so you can screenshot that. 29,860.65 is the level that I've marked the range high. The range low I have at 25,877, and then you can use a fib tool to mark out your mid level and you can see the reactions into that mid zone. I feel this is the line of best fit. 27,856. So what am I looking for? Well, as long as you're below these EMAs, the 50 and the 200, it is pressured down and you're looking for a potential tag into that region. Now, this would be a beautiful trade. Have a look at that if you saw something like that. Why? Why is it a beautiful trade? All this is confluence, right? With everything we've seen before, that $25,000 level looks sweet as honey. It's also the prior range that we had. Remember the prior range? Let's quickly zoom out to show you. This was the prior range. It's taking a while to load here. Okay, the prior range was when price was capped. So from that level over there, major breakdown, and we held this level for quite some time. So not only is that the prior range high that you'll be coming into, it's the cluster of EMAs. It's also the short-term range that we have, the one that we're currently following on the 4-hour chart. It would be a perfect deviation into that zone. Under, tag that level, reclaim at about 25.8, and boom, you can start to look for a big bullish trade towards the upside. First level of interest, this trend line will then end up meeting up with your mid-range at a later stage. You can imagine how that would line up, right? So you take this across, look at that. If you did see something like that, very, very good trade from this level. What is that going to give you as a percentage? You'd be looking at about an 8% move, and then you can reevaluate, is there enough momentum to break this level? If it does, then you take it a little bit further and you can go towards those range highs. So we'll look at the levels. Liquidity stacked at the moment at 27,225. And then if we look at the order flows as well, still shorts which have been piling into positions over here, sending price down. But look at the massive liquidity that's starting to form on the upside. Big dark blue lines, the ones that come out to the right-hand side over here are indicative of obviously additional liquidity. So $386 million worth, almost $500 million worth of liquidity there that could potentially be grabbed. On the downside over here, you're looking at 370 million. So a little bit more liquidity that price could push down into, and we'll be watching this with a keen, close eye. So same thing over here. 1 hour chart looks almost the same as the 4. So I'm just going to skip past that. This was the trade that was dropped in the Discord group. Remember, If you sign up to any one of these exchanges over here, you'll be able to get access into the Discord. You can make a very small deposit. Here is the Discord, the one with the green sign over there. It says basically click that link and then you will get access into the group. This trade was dropped over there. We're looking at a potential tag of this liquidity where price came into the 26,700-ish level. And now we want to see bulls step in. Bulls need to step in quick. This is the low time frame trade. Your your first TP is going to be at the point of control, volume point of control 27,353, and final TP at the top here at 28K. Remember, everything is in the Discord. You have all your levels that have been marked out with a little explanation there. Next, looking at liquidity, most of it has been grabbed. You can also see on this chart here from Skew, he says price always moves in the direction of liquidity, and after a trend has been established or local exhaustion, then you can look to a mean reversion play. So grab the liquidity, revert back to the mean. There will be a mean reversion play as well to the upside, and therefore you are looking for a bounce. Look at the spot. Spot continues to sell off. Leverage continues to sell off. So both are selling off at the moment. And here is your trend line regression again coming in around that 25K level. Guys, that brings us to the end. Smash the like button, hit the bell notification. Quick reminder, drop those coins that you want. Very, very important. I can only chart it if you give me the pairing. So let's say it's Solana, Sol USD or USDT, and the time frame. Do you want it on the hourly, the 4 hour, or the daily? I think let's stick with those options, hourly, 4 hour, or daily. I can't be doing like 3-minute charts and who knows, 28 hour charts. So for the 1 hour, 4 hour, daily time frame, and those are the ones that I'll do. I'll see you all on tomorrow's video. Have an absolutely stellar day. Thank you so much all for watching. I appreciate each and every one of you, and see you tomorrow. Cheers for now.